happen that way? It's because maybe there is a situation that you can actually encounter, and you perhaps feel like you're the only person that has actually encountered that situation, you know. But when you get to know that there is somebody that actually moved in the same path that you're taking, and they're in position to overcome it, well, that is going to empower you to also execute it. And you'll know that it's everyday life challenges, and you know it's not only you that is going through that. That's why every morning here in Smart Means Business we decided to really we take it so serious, and we believe that inspiration is quite key, most especially from the moguls. I call them the moguls because they have earned that apprenticeship. They call it being apprentices in what they're doing. Well, let's get inspired for this point. Well, skills and opportunities. So, what is key into that, and trying to solve Africa's challenges? Now, Herman Melville says that it's better to fail in originality than to succeed in imitation. That is key, and that is quite typical for so many people. You succeed in imitation, but later on, somewhere, you get caught up because at that point, you're trying to run a race that is not your race. So that is a huge challenge that way. And then Will Rogers says that don't let yesterday take up too much of today. Will Rogers there. And another quote here from somebody is unknown. They say that you learn more from failure than from success. So don't let it stop you. Failure builds character. And that is the furnace that you go through. Like gold before it becomes pure, it has to be go through the furnace. And then Steve Jobs says that if you are working on something that you really care about, you don't have to be pushed. The vision will pull you, and it's right to say that. And then Vernon Sanders Lowe says that experience is a hard teacher because she gives the test first and the lesson afterward. So interesting. Experience is the best teacher. Yeah, and then we do have Tony Robbins, who says that goal setting is the secret to a compelling future. Goal setting. You set goals because when you have a goal, for example, you say that by the end of the year, I want to have I need to save about 10 million Ugandan shillings. So you have to break it down. That's the bigger goal, and of course, within the goal, there are the sub goals, there are the sub visions that you do, and these are the strategies that are going to help you to reach the the 10 million shilling plan that you have by the end of the year. So that will mean that you have to evaluate yourself. How much are you supposed to save daily? Okay, then from the daily basis, you look at every week. How much do I need to save? So if I save this amount daily on a weekly basis, I'll have this. Then if every week I can save this, then on a monthly basis, I must save this amount of money. Then you take it quarterly, the first 3 months, how much have you saved, and all that. Then you'll reach the goal. The biggest challenge comes in where we think that the goal, for example, when you say you want 10 million and there is a deception that comes that perhaps you have to get that money at once, and it may not actually work out that way in most cases. It may not be the ideal situation. Have some sub goals. I call them the sub goals that help you to get to the deeper goal. Then we see who says this is Thomas Edison says that opportunity missed by most people because it comes dressed in overalls. It looks like work. Well, I think we've seen that before. People don't want to work, but they always want to get the good things. They wish the great success. They wish all these, but when it comes to the process, they don't appreciate the process. All right. Now, away from that, as we head into our business update, the funding crisis has arose and is threatening the Standard Gauge Railway project. Now, I call this a test of Uganda's commitment to infrastructure development. Now, the Standard Gauge Railway, hailed as a cornerstone of Uganda's transport strategy, is a vital link in East Africa's trade network. Now, it is now teetering on the brink of significant delays. This flagship project, which has long been a vision that is as a game changer, most especially for regional connectivity, faces a critical funding shortfall in the 2025-2026 national budget. Now, the Parliament Budget Committee has flagged a staggering gap of about 686 billion Ugandan shillings, casting doubt on whether the project's timely commencement and raising deeper questions about Uganda's infrastructure priorities will actually be achieved. Now, Tony Awani, this is the vice chairperson of the Fiscal Infrastructure Committee, sounded the alarm while presenting the committee's report on the 2025-2026 budget framework paper. Now, despite securing 2.28 trillion Ugandan shillings in external financing, the project's domestic budget allocation stands at a paltry of about 79 billion against a requirement of 765.2 billion for the fiscal year. Now, whereas the preliminary and full works of 2025-2026 have adequate external financing, the global budget allocation is gross inadequate. That's according to what Awani said, and of course highlighting the grim reality. Now, the financial gap we warned could derail the entire project, leaving Uganda's economic and transport objectives in jeopardy. Now, initially slated to commence, that was during the 2024-2025. The Standard Gauge Railway project has already been delayed due to changes in securing additional external financing, and we see that the current shortfalls compounds these delays, threatening to undermine not just the timeline but also the broader vision of the modern rail network that promises to revolutionize Uganda's transport and trade landscape. Now, the crisis is not merely just a matter of numbers, but it's emblematic on deeper structure and political issues. Now, critics urge that the government's budgetary allocations often prioritize short-term political gains over long-term economic investments, while significant funds have been allocated to non-productive sectors. Crucial infrastructure projects like the Standard Gauge Railway are left scrambling for resources. Now, for instance, Uganda's defense budget has seen consistent increases over the years, with about 6.5 trillion allocated in the 2024-2025 financial year. Now, in contrast, critical sectors like transport and infrastructure, they continue to suffer from underfunding, and now this raises the question, which is uncomfortable, by the way, and the question is Uganda's political leadership willing to make the tough choices necessary to prioritize projects that promise lasting economic benefits? That is the question. Now, the importance of this project cannot be overstated. Now, Uganda's current rail network, primarily narrow gauge, is only outdated but also inefficient, limiting the country's ability to compete in a regional trade. Now, according to the 2023 report by the World Bank, modernizing Uganda's rail infrastructure could actually face reduced transport costs by up to 30%, significantly boosting trade competitiveness. Now, moreover, the SGR is expected to facilitate the efficient movement of goods and people, linking Uganda to regional trade routes and key markets such as Kenya and Tanzania. Now, a study of the African Development Bank estimates that the standard gauge railway could actually increase Uganda's GDP by 2% annually once operational, primarily through enhanced trade and reduced transport costs. Once it's operational and primarily through enhanced trade and reduced transport costs. Now, yet these benefits hinge on timely completion. Now, delays not only escalate costs, but they also erode investor confidence. Now, a similar scenario unfolded in Kenya, where delays in the Nairobi-Mombasa SGR phase led to cost overruns amounting to 200 million United States dollars. Now, this is according to the Kenya Railways Corporation, came out to confirm this. Now, we see that, of course, this has a big impact when it comes to the daily person. Taking a look at a small-scale farmer in Tororo, currently transporting his produce to Kampala, eats up nearly like a farmer from Tororo to Kampala. Transport alone can take up to 40% of his revenue due to high road transport costs. Now, if the railway becomes operational, it would actually change everything. It could actually double the profits. That's what some of the farmers said in regards to this. Now, because take a look at, and away from even the revenue side, we take a look at, it helps Uganda to have alternative transport means to reduce on straining infrastructure. I remember we actually had a discussion yesterday. I was talking about this, about the Civil Aviation Authority, the civil aviation industry in Uganda, and the different stakeholders. We are trying to look into how we can have more players, coming to the market. Because when we have the market and it's regionally distributed, it will be very key. Now, if we do have established airspaces, an established air transport infrastructure put in place, it would definitely mean that with the establishment of the SGR, it will be a complement to that, and the strain on the infrastructure will actually be minimal. That means the established projects will actually be able to take a longer time before they actually need actual maintenance. We're talking about 50 years, because it's very absurd if a road is constructed today and just after 5 years, maintenance is being done to the road. And it shows you, because even the roads are limited, but that may not be the issue. Once we do have the SGR, away from boosting regional trade, but also transportation and trade and the movement of money within the economy will actually also be established as a result of that. Now, of course, as we take a look still here, similarly, small business owners in Kampala's bustling markets are eager for the railway's promise of cheaper goods and faster deliveries. However, delays mount so, and there are frustrations definitely coming to play, as every day is a lost opportunity for us. This is according to one of the traders in Nakol market actually said this. Every day is a missed opportunity, so they feel like they can't wait. Now, Uganda doesn't need to look for inspiration. Let's take a look at Ethiopia just here. We don't have to look for inspiration from far. Let's take a look at Ethiopia. Addis Ababa Djibouti Railway, completed in 2018, serves as a shining example of what can actually be achieved with a strong political will and strategic planning. Now, despite initial challenges, the project has significantly reduced the transport times and costs, boosting Ethiopia's export competitiveness. Now, on the flip side, we'll take a look at Tanzania's standard gauge railway. project, which faced delays and budget overruns that was due to mismanagement and inadequate domestic funding. Now, Uganda must learn from these experiences to avoid the similar pitfalls rather. Now, the report says that the funding challenges have far-reaching implications, and now this is beyond delaying the project, and they risk undermining Uganda's broader development objectives from industrialization to regional integration. And the budget committee has rightly called on the government to prioritize the SGR funding, emphasizing its strategic importance. Now, however, prioritization must go beyond, of course, rhetoric. It requires concrete actions. This is what, according to the experts say, such as reallocating funds from less critical sectors, exploring innovative financing. So we need to innovate the way we finance, the projects in all aspects. Now, Uganda's leadership must also address systematic inefficiencies that plague the infrastructure projects, from the bureaucratic delays to corruption. Now, at its core, the Standard Gauge Railway is not just a transport project, but it's a lifeline of Uganda's economy. Now, from the farmers and traders to manufacturers and consumers, every Ugandan stands to benefit from its success. Now, conversely, every delay, it comes with a cost, higher transport expenses, talking about the lost economic opportunities and diminished competitiveness. Now, the story is a reflection definitely of Uganda's development journey, as it promises, but of course, there are some challenges ahead. Now, it's a taste of the nation's ability to overcome challenges and prioritize the greater good. Now, as Ugandans, definitely, we must hold our leaders accountable to this, I'll say, to ensure that this transformative project does not become another missed opportunity. Now, as we conclude this, I'll say that the funding gap is a wake-up call. That is for Uganda. It's a reminder that bold visions require bold commitments. And the question is not just whether we can actually bridge the 686 billion Ugandan shillings, but whether we have the collective will to use this project through. Now, the stakes are definitely high, and the clock is ticking every other day. Now, Uganda's future and the dreams millions of citizens depend on the decisions that we make today. Most especially the leaders that we will make today will largely define that. And well, that is it for now. Let's go for the break, and I'll be returning with entertainment. Stick around.